because she can't read the teleprompter. It's really small writing. Okay. How would you like to feel the rush of performing before hundreds, even thousands of strangers? How would you like to feel the rhythm of a drum section run through you like an electric shock as you perform center field? Imagine your heart beating in time with the drum section. Imagine each tap on those drums as the sound hits your ears, making the screams from the crowd melt away. Today's guest will talk about her experiences in color guard. She will recount performances with her high school marching band, Winter Guard, and the senior drum corps, as well as her most recent solo performance. She will share with us cherished memories and accomplishments, as well as the hardships by overcoming the physical demand of the sports of the arts. The Humanities Communication Arts Department at Norwalk Community College presents The New Directors, the show that introduces you to television's future writers, directors, and personalities. And now join our host, Bibi Sayas, to meet the new directors.
We're filming. Thank you for joining us for today's edition of The New Directors. All of the people involved with this program are students in the television production course and are directing, switching, controlling audio, operating cameras, and acting as talent for the first time today. The guests you're about to meet are students who, when not on camera, are behind the scenes working hard to bring this program to you with as few mistakes as possible. Each student has written and produced different videos. This program will give them the chance to talk about themselves, the productions they have completed, and give you the chance to get to know them and watch their progress. Throughout the semester, our guest today is someone who has performed and done some technical directing for her alma mater's color guard. She loves to perform, but is hoping to pursue a career behind the scenes in the media industry as a journalist. Now, I would like you to meet our guest today, Bernadette Sotomayor. Hi, how are you?
Good, thanks. Thanks for having me.
Bernadette, please tell us about your experiences in the color guard.
Sure. Well, first of all, let me explain that color guard, with its flags and weapons and dance, is a visual expression of a marching band's music. Also, it's a sport, the sport of the arts. Now, about this clip, it was recorded while I prepared for my most recent performance, a solo which I choreographed entirely and on my own. I'd never written an entire routine, so I got a little cocky after the first minute and a half was done in an hour and a half. As luck would have it, the other half of the song, only a minute and a half, took roughly 7 hours to write. But I think I'd been waiting for an opportunity like that for years. While the cameras were recording, I was actually writing work on the spot. I was literally improvising. You can see it's not perfect. Before that, I hadn't spun in a year. Last summer, I was a technical assistant for the Stanford High Color Guard. Before that, I was in guard for 3 years. 3 seasons of fall and 2 seasons of winter. I received a couple of Outstanding Achievement Awards prior to graduation. In 2002, we traveled to Jacksonville to perform at the Gator Bowl. In 2003, I marched with the Connecticut Hurricanes for a parade season. But it turned out that that wasn't the group for me. I would have loved to continue marching with another senior drum corps or even a more intense junior drum corps, but unfortunately, I developed tendinitis in my left wrist and premature arthritis in both my knees. However, given the opportunity, I would gladly tough it out for at least one more season, because every sharp pain, now and then, every scar, was all worth the memories that I brought with me. And I really came to realize that as I prepared for my last performance.
Wow. That sounds great. That sounds great, Bernadette. Could you tell us why you decided to take the TV production course?
Sure. Well, I had a general interest in media communications, so I decided to take some courses in communications, such as journalism, photography, and of course, television production. And ultimately, I'd like to pursue a career in journalism.
Great. So, what are some of the most useful things that you've learned in your TV production course?
I think the first and most basic thing we learned in this course was how to handle a camera, how to operate it. We learned about the different angles, how and when to use them. What else? We learned how to do different effects with the camera, and we also learned the basics of good composition. And then we moved on to editing, which for me was the hardest part, like for the Saturn project, sitting there and having to edit all these sub-clips. So I think I'm really leaving this course with a deep appreciation for editors, because that job takes a lot of patience and a lot of attention to detail.
That is true. So tell us about the productions that you've created for the TV1 class, the Saturn Project, the Campus Story, and the New England Fall Project.
Gladly. Well, the Campus Story allowed us to compose a scripted sequence using a storyboard, and we also had to recruit actors. And it's funny because you have this image in your head of how it's going to go and how you want it to end up, but then you have to consider that the actors are a really big variable. So I think working with the actors is what actually made the experience what it was.
Wow, that sounds wonderful.
Next is the Saturn Project. I guess this was mainly to build our editing skills by putting clips together in a well-balanced and well-composed sequence. This was a project that was already in Avid, but that we had to piece together. And it really seemed like it took forever, but the outcome was worth it to see how all the clips flowed into each other and it made sense, and it was a real commercial. So I was kind of proud of that. And then next is the New England Fall, which was basically a collaboration of a bunch of simple shots. And the main idea behind this project was to just keep it simple while at the same time applying the guidelines of good composition in each shot. The sequence had to include a poor man's dissolve, continuous zoom in, continuous zoom out, and a shift of focus.
Wow, that sounds very interesting. Now, I know you had one project that you felt was your best. Which one was that?
I'd have to say the New England Fall Project, just because it was the most fun to shoot. And if you'll take a look at the tape, you'll see that I used a few different locations. I used the Nature Museum, the Nature Center, a park. I even included a beach in the sequence. I just tried to make sure that I included more than just trees to keep my mind from wandering. I'm not the most outdoorsy person you'll meet, and I don't take too kindly to farm animals, as charming and smelly as they are. But I really enjoyed shooting this project. Going on locations to the place and just being at home. Feel very accurate.
Wow, that sounds great. So tell me, what would you like to create next?
Well, seeing as how I'm a philanthropist, an aspiring journalist, and I love to travel, I would like to do take some trips to maybe do some volunteer work and at the same time get some footage like rough documentaries and possibly use it as a portfolio.
Wow, sounds very interesting. So Bernadette, what are some of your long-term career goals?
Well, I'm very close to receiving my associate's degree, so when that happens, I'd like to transfer to a four-year college and, like I said earlier, just pursue a career in journalism. Maybe photojournalism, but we'll see how that goes.
Wow, that sounds great. Today we got to meet someone who shared with us her love performing and writing guard work. As a new TV director, she hopes to apply what she has learned at NCC to document other useful footage and travel experiences. She also plans to use the new knowledge from Television One to edit exciting documentaries in the future. Thank you for joining us for today's edition of The New Directors. All of the people involved with this program are students in the television production course and are directing, switching, controlling. Thank you for joining us, Bernadette.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining us, Bernadette. It was great having you here today. The teleprompter's not working.
This has... Okay. This has been The New Directors with your director Cesar Montoya and your host Bibi, and I'm your announcer Katja. Producer Studio. This has been an NCC student production.